I wanted to talk about first is basically give you more of an understanding of what a SOC does, because we do lots of different things, like all related to security, obviously, but we're kind of like the main hub for security in your environment. So we have a team of people that are dedicated to cybersecurity. They're the kind of people that get excited about logs, excited about new technologies in computers that most people will never see, and they're all dedicated to making sure we understand your environment and also understand the behavior of your devices and the people in that environment. And one of the ways that we do that is by collecting all the information in the environment in the form of logs. So we set up the SIEM solution in a way that we kind of contour it or configure it for your specific environment, because we know that every environment is different. Every business is different. You have different technologies. You might even have technologies you don't know about until you start engaging with us and we start pointing out all these different things that we can see in the environment. So one of the ways we tackle the complexity of environment is with data connectors. So these are different sets of data collection containers. And as you see, I've got a screenshot here with a list of all the different, an example of some of the different ones we can have. The key here, though, is that we can kind of set up to connect to any type of data. We can set up custom connectors. We have a lot that we already have pre-configured for a lot of different technologies. So if you're running Amazon Web Services, if you're running VMware or any kind of proprietary software that you want security, visibility, and risk management over, we can set that up, we can get it integrated, we can get it connected. And that is really the key for a really, really good SOC, is the availability to get the context of an entire environment, no matter what kind of technology exists in that environment and no matter how people use that environment. And I'll go a little bit into a little bit more detail later about the user side of things, but I thought I'd give you guys an example of what it looks like with an environment that has a lot of different information. And the reason why that's important is because when you do SOC monitoring, it's not just enough to have the visibility on, say, every network device. It's not enough just to have visibility on every computer that someone might bring to work. We also need to understand the technology in the environment and how to monitor that in an effective way so that if anything happens, not only can we see it when it happens, but we will be able to detect things that could potentially happen. And that is super important as well for risk management, because you can't really manage risk on parts of an environment that you cannot see. So that is the main goal of a SOC, is to collect all the information from an environment and then have a dedicated team using really, really smart technology, which I'll go into a little bit more later, and also really, really smart people. And that is also a key combination as well. Behavior and people and how they use environments is a big focus for us. And also the technology that we use, we also make sure that that is basically as up-to-date and as cutting edge as possible. So you'll see some AI things chucked in here and there, but don't get too distracted by that. I'll be sure to make sure it makes sense in the context of the SOC. But yeah, it's definitely a combination between people and technology. So this is an example of some data connectors. So I've set this up so you can kind of see the volume of data we can collect just from one particular type of technology. So Azure Active Directory is now called Entra ID, but this will be all the data coming in from when someone logs in, when someone changes their password, when someone logs in on a new device, anything that a user does or a customer does or a staff member does to access the environment. We can collect that in the form of this data connector. So that is obviously a lot of information. So I've picked that one out for you to have a closer look at. And as you can see right now, there's hundreds of thousands of logs coming in, and that's just one of the very many data connectors that I have in this example.